Then a mutual friend confirmed that this person just wakes up in the morning and pretends to get ready to go to work, but really is just waiting for me to leave the house so that they can come back.
Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments.
My ex pretended to have a job and would wake up every morning and get ready for work and leave to his pretend job. He lost his job about 2 weeks after moving in with me, and after about a month of looking, he found a job at a call center. And I waited about 2 weeks before I started asking money to help pay for the bills because I know they hold your paycheck. And he told me that he didn't have any money because he had to pay his dad back. And he told me this for like a couple weeks. And I started questioning him because what are you paying your dad back for? Because I literally pay for everything, like everything. So then I just start asking for a pay stub because at this point I just know you don't have a job, and he can't even produce that. Can't even produce a pay stub. Then a mutual friend confirmed that this person just wakes up in the morning and pretends to get ready to go to work, but really is just waiting for me to leave the house so that they can come back. They confront this person multiple times, like, I know you don't have a job, like you need to just admit that you don't have a job. Eventually, they're like, yeah, I don't have a job. While he's looking for a legit job, his dad actually offers to cut a check for his part of the expenses, and I kindly decline. I tell him, no, don't take money from our parents. We're legit adults. I can afford to pay for the bills on my own. Like, this was my apartment to begin with. Like, do not take money from your dad. And then one day, I'm on the phone with his dad, and his dad asks me how much the expenses are going to be this month because he's getting ready to write the check. What check? Apparently, he had written a check the month before for all of the expenses that my ex actually ended up keeping. So I asked my ex about it, and he tells me that I didn't want the money, and it's his dad, so it's obviously his money. And when I asked him what he spent the money on, he said, well, I paid for my own gas.
This is giving scammer, honestly, because you scammed your dad and you scammed your girlfriend. I think if you lost your job, the most logical thing to do is to tell your girlfriend, I don't have a job anymore, and do the best you can to find another one, right? Don't pretend to go to work and then come back when she leaves and just sit at home. Okay, so what if she came back in the middle of the day? What was your excuse gonna be? And if your mutual friend didn't tell her, how long was he gonna play this game? Probably didn't even want a job anyways. He probably just wanted to stay at home, play video games, and just relax all day. And then allow your father to write checks for you when you know fully well you had no intention of giving it to your girlfriend to pay part of that bill. That's just evil, honestly. Like, you have a conscience or something.
This girl said she had a stud once take her on a date and bring her back to her place. And when she came back to her place, she said, hey, my ex is coming by to drop some things off that I left. However, I don't want my ex to know that I've moved on. And she asked the girl to hide in her bedroom until the ex leave. The girl went and hid in the bedroom. And she said she was in there for 2 hours. And while she was in there for 2 hours, she listened to them do it on the couch. Then she said, after the 2 hours of her sitting there waiting,
she stayed in there for 2 hours. Oh my goodness. You know, the moment she told her that her ex is coming over and she doesn't want her to know that you have moved on, that was your cue to leave. Honestly, that was your cue to be like, this girl is not ready for a new relationship. It's time to pack it up and go home. You're better than me, because I know I don't have that patience. I'll have either got out of that place and gone home, or have came out of the room and confronted her.
She comes out and tells the girl she wants her to take her home and that she's ready to go. And the stud is sitting there crying and telling her sorry and that she didn't want them to stop talking. I'm sorry. So many things wrong with this story. I don't even know what to say. Why did you wait the 2 hours? I would have burst out that motherfucking room like the Hulk. Somebody would have to see me. I would have snatched her ass by her locks, whatever the fuck she had, and we would have been fighting in that house. There's no way. Nah, that shit ain't true. Can't be a true story.
I hope it's not a true story, because what? Why would you let someone treat you like that? Because especially since she said, I don't want my ex to know that I've moved on. Number one, she's either lying, because that man might not be her ex. That man might still be her boyfriend, and she lied to you. Or number two, she's not ready to move on. You're just the side piece. And then she had the audacity to beg her that, oh, I don't want us to stop talking. Some people have audacity, honestly. You literally made me hide for 2 hours and had you and your man have and then you have the audacity to tell me that, oh, I don't want us to stop talking. Are you crazy? Like, what have you smoked today? Please. It has to be some premium stuff, because there's no way that level of audacity comes just naturally.
My client's girlfriend walked in on us looking at diamonds and comparing custom engagement ring designs, and she forgot to actually look at the table because her immediate reaction was to pull his hair back and scream at the top of her lungs, "Who the are you on a date with right now?" Made a huge scene for about a minute and a half, finally looked down at the table and goes, "Are you making an engagement ring for me?" And he goes, "No, not anymore." And so that's the story of how I lost my first client.
That was such a perfect response. What gave you the audacity to put your hands on him? Especially in public, embarrassing him. This man probably dodged a bullet. Because this woman just seems like someone that has a bad temper and she cannot resolve problems in a reasonable way. He probably dodged a huge bullet.
A week later, he texted me and apologized profusely, saying that he was so embarrassed and he's so sorry that had to happen and that he's not going through with the proposal anymore, and he hopes that I understand. And I was like, I felt mortified and so bad because I did not want to be the reason, but turns out she had already been looking through his phone and sneaking things to her phone to try to prove that he's been cheating on her, and he wasn't. He was texting her friends to see what kind of engagement rings that she likes, communicating with me to see if we can set up a consultation. Mind you, this was all on my lunch break while I worked at Sprint because, like I said, it was my very first client ever. So, lost my first client. It was a wild beginning to me becoming a jewelry designer.
I feel bad for her though, because she had to experience that on her very first time becoming a jewelry designer. Like, you kind of hope that you kind of ease into the job, right? Not start out with drama. But then I feel like this guy definitely dodged a huge bullet. But then it also makes me wonder that, has this guy cheated on her before? I'm just trying to think about this from the girl's perspective, right? Has this guy cheated on her before? Because why did she jump into the immediate conclusion of, oh, he's cheating, you know? And then, like, even if he has cheated on her before, I just feel like her reaction is extreme though. This is why I believe that if you don't trust somebody, you cannot be in a relationship with them, because you don't trust even the most innocent things they do. Like, he's literally talking to our friends and she took it as cheating, you know? She probably has some internal problems to work out for herself, or maybe he has cheated on her before. Ultimately, I think he definitely dodged the bullet though.
So I don't know if y'all have seen this video, or the discourse on this video, but he's pretty much saying, like, I make thousands and thousands of bands a month, and me taking care of my girl, like, it's literally a drop in the bucket. Like, why not pay for her? Why not, you know, help her out? And for those of you that might be confused as why a man would want to do that, let me just paint this picture for you. So I had this coworker, and she was dating a multimillionaire, like super rich guy. He ran several businesses. He was doing his thing. Young guy. They had been dating exclusively for about a year. When they would go out with their whole group of friends, it would be like him, her, you know, group of their friends out celebrating whatever. He would get bottle service for his homeboys. He'd be buying their food, drinks, whatever. But when it came down to her drinks, he would pay for them there, but then he would always like Venmo request her to like pay him back for the drinks.
Hell no. I'm not paying you anything. What do you mean that you pay for my drinks there and then you Venmo request me? So he's doing that so he looks good in front of his friends, but behind closed door, he's not nice to me at all. No, if you want me to pay for myself, I'm gonna pay for myself in front of everybody. Somebody that will pay for all of his friends, but they expect me to pay for myself, I'm probably just gonna break up with you, because you're rich, but I'm not seeing the benefits. Like, what's the benefit of dating a man that is financially successful when he doesn't spend any money on you?
Now, this wasn't like no undercover situationship. Like, everybody knew that they were together, and at one point in time, she lived with him. Now, he's a multimillionaire, and she makes a very, very, very low hourly rate at an office. Like, even me as a woman, like when I go out and kick it with my homegirls or whatever, like if somebody says, oh girl, I got you, let me pay for you, they're not gonna the next day Venmo request me and be like, oh, can you pay me back for that meal that you had, or can you Venmo me back for those drinks?
Exactly, because that's really weird, honestly. Unless like you guys have that agreement, or you guys are close friends and that's what you guys usually do when you go out. It's weird for you to offer to pay for somebody and then ask them to Venmo you back the money, you know? It's just really weird. And then doing that to your girlfriend, somebody that you claim to love, like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, if it's not discussed prior, like before we get to the restaurant, of like, oh, we'll order something and then all split it, like none of me and my homegirls are gonna do that. But yet some of you are confused why somebody who makes that much money wouldn't want to spoil the person that they're in a dedicated, committed relationship with. Like, that's not strange to you? And like me and the other homegirls at the office, hearing her talk about this, like our jaws were on the floor. But yet, if he was blowing half of his monthly income on cars, on houses, on a bunch of random stuff at the club, you know, whatever, throwing money at people, y'all wouldn't have nothing to say. Well, all because he wants to do it for the person that he cares about. Some of y'all are like, well, why would he do that? Or calling him a chump or whatever. That's just very strange.
Her co-worker doesn't see anything wrong with it. That's why she told her friends. Because that's something I'll be very embarrassed to tell my friends about. Especially since this man is a multi-millionaire and she's making minimum wage. Come on. He's comfortable paying for his entire friend group. But when it comes to the woman that he supposedly loves, he treats her like trash. Yeah, I think he should go date his homeboys, honestly. At this point, if you're so in love with them, go date one of them and leave her out of this, you know. You obviously do not love her, or I don't even think you like her. That's just a stingy man. I'd rather date a man that has no money, but when he has, he gives to me, than a man that is super rich and is very stingy with his money. Come on, like, break up with him. It's not even worth all the stress. Just leave this man. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments.